Ladies and gentlemen, here we are for the BRL Breakout Racing League's F1 2019 F2 race at the Hungaro Ring. And in the booth with me today is Mr. Wrathful himself, Tier 3 driver for Racing Point. How are you, Mr. Wrathful?
I'm doing okay there, Exia. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. We're looking to have an exciting race here with all these drivers. This is one shot qualifying, and then they do a sprint, and then another, then they go right into a full race. So it'll be interesting to see how a lot of these drivers play out. Ham Newton, Chandler Sada, they're fast. Looks like we do not have Skeppy. Yeah, we have Skeppy in here, so he's going to be new racing with everybody. Looks like we got Whiffy Winner in, also Webster in. Definitely looking to see a huge battle. Ritzy Raccoon is in here. So we'll wait until these drivers get ready and see how they start performing in qualifying. As a driver, Wrathful, what are your thoughts on the Hungaro ring in
My
itself?
thoughts all comes down to it does look sunny. I think they're probably going to have a perfectly fine race for weather. So I think that's going to take out the equation of wet. But if it does, it's very interesting when you get into those wet compound tires here.
I completely agree with you. As we have coming through turn one, Whiffy Winner has retired from the session. What a shame. We have Ham Newton. He and Ferrari Nut are battling it out for the top position, with Hoopalicious and Skeppy third and fourth. Chandler sitting fifth. Chandler still can make up a lot of time to make it up into that top position. So we'll definitely see as they go through. Pull up a little
It
bit of
looks like
telemetry as we go through.
Webster, Taylor, and Ritzy have all had a very hard time on their qualifying laps and are not going to do a time worth anything.
Well, but at the same time, you could save your tires then, with the only having two tire compounds and you have to utilize them, for both races. So that should help them out a lot. So now we have Ham Newton. He's up at the top. He sets purple too. Chandler sitting second. Ferrari Nut is third. We have Deer Hunter and Mean Fern. They've slotted up to fourth and fifth. Skeppy in the sixth. Oopalicious seventh. GK Phantom eighth. Canada King, surprising, he's sitting ninth in the grid, with Ritzy Raccoon and Webster 10th and 11th. So we'll see what happens when they cross the line. Ham Newton goes pole with a very fast 128.2 compared to Chandler said as 128.6.
Canada King shouldn't be too upset with that time. 2 seconds off of Phantom. Phantom's a very quick driver. I wouldn't be too upset being a much rookier driver by comparison. So
Yes, and with him starting ninth, anything can happen. We've seen the Hungaro ring take a lot of cars here in this turn that we're going to be approaching here before it goes to a cutscene. In being in ninth place, that ninth place could turn into fourth and fifth, and that just means you're going to get more points here in the F2. So there you have it, everybody. Ham Newton putting the car on pole, with Chandler set a second, Ferrari Nut third, Deer Hunter fourth, Mean Fern fifth, Skeppy sixth, Hoopalicious seventh, GK Phantom eighth, Canada King ninth, Ritzy Raccoon 10th, Webster sitting 11th, with the Dams team, Whiffy Winner 12th, and Taylor Clan 13th. We know Webster and it looks like Ritzy Raccoon, they're getting a little bit new into this. So it'll be interesting to see how they play out. Also, we've got the owner, Mr. Skeppy. He's into the battle in the mix. He's not that far off the pace from people like Mean Fern and Deer Hunter who have been racing the whole season. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on them. Is there a driver favorite that you're seeing out on the track that you really want to keep your eye on?
Uh, it's fairly hard to say because unfortunately the Hungaro ring likes to pick off the fastest drivers. So as much as you'd like to pick a favorite, that fast left-hander might pick off your favorite driver or one of these vicious curbs going around here. So I would like to say somebody, but at the same time, I don't want to curse anybody with it either. I would like to think that Mean Fern or Deer Hunter or Ferrari Nut probably have the fight in them today, but we'll have to see what happens.
And I completely agree with you as we get through here. Welcome to the viewers. to the Breakout Racing League's F1 2019 F2 season as we are here at the Hungaroring. Please click follow if you like what you're seeing. Also, please make a comment in the chat. We'll reach out to you guys, the viewers, as you guys are watching this race. The drivers are getting their tire strategy set up here as we get started. So please give them a minute as they go get their brake going. Yeah, like you said, with that fast left-hand turn, especially with these cars, you can't get on the power very quick. The cars are very light. The tires are skinnier compared to the F1 cars. A lot of these drivers are going to have a little bit of an issue with, handling and that. So it'll be definitely interesting to see, how these newer drivers get off the line. Hopefully they don't throw their car, off and crashes. Now we start seeing a lot of these drivers checking up and getting ready for this race.
Going to be an interesting one for sure to see who can really make it out of turn one and maybe get ahead of the rest of the pack, because Hungaroring is very difficult to overtake on, so that turn one might be a critical move to make.
And that is completely true. As we get started here on the formation lap, we have Ham Newton. He's just pulling away from the grid. He just doesn't care anymore. Chandler Setta, he's sitting second. He's trying to make his way up in that Scuderia Ferrari sponsored F2 car. We also have Ferrari in another Scuderia sponsored car. So we'll jump down to Deer Hunter. He's sitting fourth in a weird ADSS car. We have Mean Fern fifth, got beat sixth, Hoopalicious seventh, GK Phantom is eighth. A lot of these drivers need to start catching up. Looks like we have one of the drivers. He lost it a little bit in one of the corners. Looks like Canada King, he's going to sit on the track. Webster's going to sit on the track. Whiffy Winner he's running around the track here. Taylor Clan, they're all just slowly moving it around as we go through here. Honestly, I'm going to say it's going to be a battle out from the top two. I'm going to, in all honesty, I think, Ham Newton looked fast during the practice sessions, but I think Chandler Setta has what it takes to take the fight to Ham Newton here. He looked quick when I was, watching them.
I'm sure Chandler's looking for that win too, or at least looking to score some serious points today. He's had some races unfortunately not work out as well for him as I guess he might have hoped, so I'm sure he's looking to score pretty well today. These guys are starting to round the final sector and the final turn. Gonna load onto the grid.
It looks like we have a few drivers that have already joined, some of them that are already on the grid here as we get started. Chandler said almost died on the formation lap, brah. Yes, you almost died on the formation lap.
Better to get it out then.
Yes, it is. As we get started here, we have a yellow sector 3. Don't know what it is, but we have starting to get the 5 lights as we get started here. 5 lights. And we are away. Slow off the line they go. No real mess ups here as they go down into turn 1 here. Looks like Ferrari's nuts making a move on Deer Hunter, going very defensive. Hoopalicious trying to look at something. Ham goes really wide. Chandler Setta definitely raging as he's getting going as we have a yellow sector 1. Can Chandler defend?
That's a
Ferrari
ritzy raccoon at the back. He spun himself. It looks like these guys are battling 2 by 2 right into the end of sector 1 into that fast left-hander. Let's see how these guys handle
this. Looking very smooth, very strong as they go through. Ham Newton has been able to pull a little bit of a strong gap from Chandler, about 6/10. Can Chandler reel him in as we have a yellow sector 2? Looks like Ritzy Raccoon's losing it just a little bit.
That was from Canada King. He got that lethal curb and took the inside and did, I think, some light wing damage there. So he's going to try and nurse that one through.
see what happens when they go through here. Everybody's just freight training. We'll jump down the grid here. See, Skeppy's up to 6. Oopalicious still in 7th. GK Phantom is still 8th. GK Phantom is doing really good. Whiffy Winner's moved up. Oh, we have lost a car. Whiffy Winner. Oh, commentator curse. Now all he has to do is collect himself and get going. As Taylor Clan started in the back of the pack, has slotted himself up to 9th place. He's looking extremely strong. All he has to do is keep his head down and push. Now Skeppy's still sitting 6th. We got Mean Fern right behind Deer Hunter. If Skeppy, you know, checks up right behind Mean Fern, he can catch, you know, they can catch Deer Hunter and put the pressure on him to keep moving. Ham Newton, lap 2 out of 19. Ham Newton has extended his gap from Chandler, set at about 8/10. Welcome to the viewers. Alex Matthews, HX4K, welcome. Let's see what we've got here. Ritzy Raccoon on Canada King. Come on, Canada King, stay in there, battle it out. Looks like Whiffy Winner's gonna try something. Oh, Canada King runs it really deep. Whiffy was pushing it. Canada King felt the pressure. We're gonna jump up to Taylor Clan.
Chandler's losing just a little bit on Ham Newton, but it looks like Ferrari Nuts coming in on Chandler, so looks like there's a definite fight for the top 3 going on right now.
We're gonna jump up to them as well. We go through. Ham Newton sets a new fast lap at 1:30.8. We're starting to get a little bit of separation here in the F2
Scoopalicious is on the outside of GK Phantom as they're going 2x2 into turn 1. As they're battling their way. It looks like Phantom gets a better traction out of the corner and
here comes Taylor Clan. We got a 3-way battle.
It's going to be very difficult for them to try and overtake, as the Hungaroring is not an easy place to make such maneuvers done.
But like we saw with Canada King, if you put the pressure on and you force the drivers to make a mistake, ooh, looks like Hoopalicious running that curve a little too much there. But if you push the other driver, you can cause him to partially, you know, make a mistake. Hopefully that's what Hoopalicious is trying to do here on GK Phantom. He is all over the grid box of him. He does not want to let him go here. If he makes Hoopalicious on the inside, checks up. Right behind him, locks up just a little bit.
Now I know Chandler's pushing as he set a purple sector 2. Not quite the fastest lap, but he still has Ferrari Nut down behind him. But all 3 still have DRS along with Ham Newton up at the front. Looks like Deer Hunter's fallen off about 4 seconds, but Mean Fern's looking to still catch up.
Malicious on the really inside of GK Phantom. Phantom's being able to stick. Looks like Malicious was a little slow out of the corner, but Taylor Clan is still there.
All this fighting might just catch Webster back into this mix, so we'll have to see how that works out for him. As Skeppy is slowly just trying to catch himself back up to Mean Fern and Deer Hunter.
He's, you know, Skeppy's running a very nice race, you know, even though he's still sitting, he started 6th, he's sitting 6th right now. But he's racing one of those races where, you know, if something happens in the front, you move up in the spots, you know what I mean? You can kind of maneuver a little bit more with your pit stop and definitely make a strategy, you know, work. And it'd be definitely interesting to see what his strategy
Ferrari
is.
Nuts. Ferrari Nuts trying to take a run at Chandler into the pit straight here. I think he wants to try and make a move this time around.
both with DRS.
Looks like Chandler's taking the defensive inside line. Again, it's not an easy move to make, but Meanfern's going for the switchback on Deer Hunter, and he might just pull it off as Meanfern moves up into fourth.
Deer Hunter tries to send it up the inside. They're going side by side.
Oh, light contact. Light contact.
Hunter goes wide.
Lost traction. Deer Hunter, nice save though from Deer Hunter.
Very nice.
Very good save.
We'll give him kudos.
That's going to catch Skeppy right back in behind him. And Skeppy's looking to try and make a move.
Now Skeppy needs to attack. He's going to try to go for the inside line here. Now it's all about who's going to break. Skeppy makes it stick.
And Skeppy makes a
nice move from the Skepster as they get going here on Sector 2. Now Skeppy just needs to put his head down and push. The faster he can push, the better. Because right now, Deer Hunter is going to be probably questioning himself. Oh, I got, do this, do that, make it, you know what I mean? When you make a mistake and a guy gets past, starts to break down the morale a little bit. Now Skeppy, he's on a high right now. He just needs to keep pushing as they go through. Looks like Meanfern lit it up a little bit. Chandler dives into the pits. He's the first of the front runners to dive into the pits. Chandler gets a 5-second
speeding penalty.
That's
going to really screw
as well. So we've got third
pit strategy.
And 6th. They're diving into the pits as well. See who else dives in the pits. Looks like nobody else is going to.
No, but Chandler looks like he's going to come out right into... No, he's into the back of the pack, so he's got pretty much his own free air.
But at the same time, depending on how long Whiffy Winner and Ritzy stay out,
Hoopalicious made a move on Phantom.
Yeah, yes he did, but Phantom is looking extremely racy. Skeppy gets a 3-second time penalty. Oh, so close. Taylor Glantz just looking at the backside, trying to see maybe, hopefully, that these two drivers can make a mistake and he can capitalize on a lot of it. Hoopalicious
this has
goes
caught
really
Webster
wide.
back in about 1 second.
It seems like like a forever tag and pull. Hoopalicious puts the pressure on Phantom. Phantom makes a mistake. As we have a yellow sector 2, Ritzy Raccoon.
That's a Ritzy Raccoon who loses the wing.
Ooh, what a shame.
Probably time to get
him.
off those softs.
Ham is in the pits, so we'll definitely see. Ferrari Nut stays out. BRL Skeppy, he dives into the pits. So Hoopalicious in the pit, Phantom in the pit, Taylor Glantz in the pits. Phantom gets a 5-second time penalty.
Now with Skeppy and Ferrari Nut, maybe it's a strategy call.
But here's the thing, ready? Webster is already up in the third right now. Yes, I understand he still needs to pit. So does Whiffy Winner need to pit. But they don't have a 5-second time penalty like Phantom does. That's all the way back there.
Does make a difference. As Chandler is now behind Cam Newton and did not get ahead with that 5-second penalty still looming.
But his tires are still already up to speed. He could probably make something happen on Ham if he can, get close enough. But Skeppy has still been able to keep, stay out in front of Deer Hunter, which is good for him in the overall pace. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. It's the same drivers, both Hoopalicious, Phantom.
Ferrari Nut goes for the pit. Let's see where he comes out. He's got quite a bit of a gap at this point, but hopefully it's enough.
Well, my guess is...
Meanfern also comes into the pit.
Now here's the problem. Webster and Whiffy Winner, they're both teammates. If they both pit, looks like Webster is staying out. He's going for the long strategy on the soft compound tires. Whiffy Winner dives into the pits. Here we go. Ferrari, he's
Oh,
coming
and
down the
Whiffy
pit
spun it
lane.
in the pit. Oh,
Oh, man. Looked like Ham possibly kind of blocked out of the pit lane when he was coming down the main straight, defending against Chandler a little bit, which kind of messed up Ferrari nut, I'm going to go with. Ritzy Raccoon spins it again in sector 2.
as Hoopalicious and Deer Hunter are fighting with Phantom, all into turn 1.
Here we go. Here we go. We got a three-way battle for 7th. As Skeppy has just kind of put his head down and kind of just hammered and went. You know, he just checked out and just said goodbye. I'm not going to wait for you guys. See what happens once they come through here.
Now Ferrari Nut has stacked in right behind Ham Newton and Chandler, but for this round, will the tires be the difference?
You know,
As well as that 5-second penalty is going to be a bit of a problem.
I mean, they got 11 laps to play here. Definitely, you know, interesting to see. We have Ritzy Raccoon.
As Webster comes into the pit.
Where is he going to slot out? Right on board with him as they go through. Skeppy has left the session. No.
Skeppy.
You want to try to see if you can invite him back in?
I will, yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let's see. It looks like Webster's going to come out in 10th ahead of his teammate. We still have this massive battle for 6th place between Hoopalicious, Deer Hunter. Phantom on the inside. Can he make it stick on Deer Hunter? He does, partially, but Deer Hunter's fighting back. Deer Hunter's going to have the inside now. Phantom has, they go through. Wow, what a beautiful move by Phantom. Holding his line and not giving too much of it up. If we have a yellow sector 1 and 2.
That's for Ritzy Raccoon.
He's gone on wet compound tires. Interesting.
Yes, because he spun out on both of his soft and his medium and destroyed his wing. So I guess he went for the wet.
See what we have here. Chandler's now 5/10ths back from Ham Newton. We'll have to keep an eye on that as they go through. Hoopalicious is checked out from GK Phantom, and he's pulled about 1.3 seconds out. Skeppy's driver is still doing good, even though it's AI right now. Hopefully we can get Skeppy back into the race. What a shame on him. We go through.
And Phantom doesn't want to let this go. He's still trying to chase down Hoopalicious as desperately as he can. As he's built about a 1-second gap barely to Deer Hunter, but it looks like Taylor is going to take that fight with Deer Hunter.
On the
make the move done before the turn. But a good defensive maneuver. And he couldn't make the turn in from Deer Hunter being in the way.
And Webster was right there with those two-lap newer medium compound tires. See what happens. We're still riding aboard. Taylor claims Deer Hunter runs it a little bit wide. Taylor trying to warm up his tires a little bit here before they come up to the fast left as they go through. He's looking extremely racy.
Taylor and Webster, they really want to get past that Deer Hunter, and they're going to make it happen as soon as they can.
Agreed, 100%. Now the thing is, you know, Deer Hunter's falling back 1.8 seconds to GK Fam. So when they get to the main straight, Deer Hunter's not going to have anything. Ferrari Nut sets the new fast lap at a 1:30.5.
Ferrari Nut has a good run on Chandler. He could make the move, maybe. He's right on his gearbox into turn 1.
See what happens.
Hard to get power down in that corner. It is a weird angle, I will admit.
It is. You get into this weird off camber as Canada King loses it a little bit in that hairpin. We're going to drop down Taylor Clan. He's 1/10 back. He's going on the outside. Deer Hunter's trying to defend on the inside. Webster's there.
As Webster's trying to make the move on the inside, saying,
what happens.
hey, is there room for me?
Three-way battle. Deer Hunter's putting his car like almost 3 to 4 cars wide. Webster looks on the inside of Taylor Clan. But he checks out of it. What an amazing battle we have for 8th place here in this race. These drivers are just not giving up. Webster going real deep in that hairpin, trying to he doesn't want to lose any time.
Canada King pits again for, I guess, a new wing.
Yeah, the problem with F2 is the tires here. It's Ritzy Raccoon. Looks like he spun it again on those wets. He's trying not to utilize because you only have one set of softs, one set of mediums. Definitely he's trying not to utilize all of his tire compounds. As Ferrari Nut makes it on Chandler, but these guys are battling it back and forth side by side as they go into the left-hand turn here. See, Chandler still defending it off. See, and this is just helping Ham Newton here with this race. He just, he doesn't have to.
He's going to try and run away.
Yeah. Taylor Clan finally gets past Deer Hunter, but Deer Hunter throws it up on the inside in defense. Running him a little bit wide. Giving him the curb.
Yeah.
Webster has fallen back to 11.4 seconds back from Taylor Clan. Something must have happened here with that driver. As Skeppy is still sitting fifth, did he manage to get back in? He didn't manage to get back in.
He has not. I've tried to invite him. I'll send him another one. Does not look like he is currently online.
What a shame for him. We ride on board with Ferrari Nut, 4/10 back from Chandler Seta. Still taking the battle. So we have a massive battle for 8th and a massive battle for 2nd. But the problem is nobody wants to give.
But this time, Ferrari Nut has DRS on Chandler, and Chandler does not have DRS from Ham Newton as they go side by side into turn 1. Ferrari Nut tries to make the switch back.
See what he can do.
He's got DRS again. Trying to get side by side before turn 2.
He's got to try to brake late here and try to get that inside line as they go through this turn. Looks like he possibly has it.
And a light contact. Oh no!
Ferrari loses it. Oh,
that's gonna be the end of his race.
Oh, what a shame.
Suspension damage, no wheel off, but yeah.
So that's gonna slot Meanford up to 3rd. But we still have a battle for 9th. For 8th place, I mean, with Taylor Clan and Deer Hunter. But this is going to pull a safety car. This is definitely... So now these drivers that were in the mix, but that weren't in the mix, that's going to bunch them all together. So Ham Newton, who was able to extend that gap from Chandler Seta, Webster gets a drive-through.
And Webster gets a drive-through. That's going to be horrible with this new stacking. But this could really throw it in for Chandler because of the 5-second penalty. Now that they're all restacked, this could be Mean Fern making it a 1-2 with Ham Newton. Come on, Skeppy, it would be time to get back in. The other good thing is, this is just going to stack Hoopalicious, Phantom, Deer Hunter, Taylor, and Webster, and Whiffy all together for a wonderful fight.
Well,
these guys love it for another 5-lap blast.
Chandler dove into the pits. I think he's trying to go back onto those old softs that he had. He's serving his 5-second time penalty right now. Meanford dove into the pits. So even though Ham stayed out, Meanford still,
I guess they want to trade position.
Deer Hunter in the pits, Taylor Clan in the pits. So a lot of these drivers are going to soft compound tires. Which is gonna definitely, like, you know, it's definitely gonna mix things up here, especially with, like, you know, Ham Newton, because now if he wants to dive into the pits to go to soft compound tires, a lot of these other drivers are going into soft compound tires. Meanford gets a new set of mediums. I believe, I swear I thought it was only one set. I could be wrong. Chandler looks like he has new fresh. Oh, it's probably the same. It just resets when they pit. We'll definitely have to talk with them. Ferrari pissed. Yes, Chandler, Ferrari definitely is pissed. You know, a lot of these Ferrari sponsored cars just getting thrown into the walls. But it was an awesome battle watching you two battle it out. We'll definitely have to see how that plays out in the next race. You pitted to get the 5-second time penalty removed. Now, Chandler, are those the same soft tires that you guys had originally from the first start of the race? That is the question we all want to know. We are still waiting for the safety car queue to queue up here as they go around this track. BRL Skeppy, his AI is sitting second, which is awesome for him. Hopefully he can get back in.
Yeah. Did not pit just like Ham Newton, but everybody else did.
Well, no, they pitted.
But Hoopalish is closing in.
They didn't, yeah, he didn't pit with everybody else that pitted. So let's see what we have here. Deer Hunter, due to that pit, Deer Hunter gets swapped with Webster. So that means Deer Hunter's going to have to try to get past Webster. Webster, you know, is going to take the battle of the Taylor Clan Phantom. Whiffy winner's up to 6th now. Meanford's 5th. Chandler said is 4th. Hoopalish is 3rd. A lot of these drivers spread out around the track. They're going to have to try to bump, you know, squeeze up. Hopefully the safety car doesn't just take off at the end of this lap. We do have 4 laps to play. And Chandler is on soft compound tires, so that's going to make him even quicker. The safety car is staying out for one more lap, it looks like.
Yep, it's going to give all the chance for some of these guys to bunch up.
How awesome would it be to be the safety car driver? You don't have to worry about a podium. You just go out there when you need to.
Don't have to worry about the podium, but you're always in P1.
Yeah, hey, there you go.
There you go.
I mean, at least it's not like, you know, like I have to give the safety car driver for Formula One, especially for Codemasters, a wonderful job. He's been definitely putting in his overtime in the game.
Could go a little faster.
Could go a little, yes, he could. I'm sure they'll have it next season. The safety car will be an F1 car. That just goes around the track to make sure that tires are always warm. See what we have here. So we have Ham Newton. He is still leading the race. Skeppy, even though he lagged out, he's sitting second. Hoopalicious, he's sitting third. He's a little further back in the grid.
Safety car is in.
Yes, it is. Ooh, everybody's just bunching up right now. Chandler's on the soft compound tires. He's gonna have to make a run as fast as he possibly can. Mean Fern, he's on the medium compound tires. Whiffy is on the medium. Phantom, Taylor, Webster, and Deer Hunter all. Candy King gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I'm sure it's not really his fault because of where he's at right now. As we come around to the final corner, Ham trying to get an amazing run as he does.
Oh, I see. Canada King was unlapping himself. I'm sure we can take that 5 seconds off. That's fine.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. Ham Newton pulling as fast as he possibly can. Let's see what Chandler's got. Chandler's 2/10 back from Hoopalicious. Taylor Clan. Oh my God. Phantom and Webster's drop back. That's going to slot Taylor Clan and Deer Hunter up. Whiffy Winner sitting 6th. Chandler is on those soft compound tires. He is charging as much as he can with 2 laps left to go.
He is trying to push on Hoopalicious, but Skepbot is holding that second position hard.
Oh, Whiffy with a 3-second time penalty.
And that's critical when it comes down to one of these final lap blasts with that last lap safety car. So,
agreed.
Is Chandler really just trying to make that move around Hoopalicious? Probably going to try and make that move. Oh, might be doing it right into here in the sector 3.
Down into the Hoopalicious defense.
Oh,
a little
light
bit of
contact.
tap. Oh, Hoopalicious loses it a little bit. Meanford makes the
And
move on the
Meanford's-
inside. Oh, wow. That clearly, you know, racing is tough. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Looked like he caught a little bit too much of that curve going into that corner. As Chandler now is going to utilize BRL Skeppy's Ghost to carry his way down into here to try to hopes to catch Ham Newton. As Mean Fern also is going to do that as well. So we have the backpack charging very hard as Whiffy Winner and, sorry for the viewers, Whiffy Winner and Taylor Clan, they are battling it out. Whiffy Winner is looking quite strong here. He started, him and Taylor Clan started in the back of the pack. As Webster dives into the pits, what a shame. Ritzy Raccoon gets a 3-second time penalty. Hoopalicious. Still, he's making moves on Skeppy's Ghost. What a shame on Skeppy not being able to race here. Deer Hunter has now moved up into the battle for the 6th place between him, Whiffy Winner, and Taylor Clan. Here they go, right aboard with Whiffy. Hopefully he can get a run on Taylor Clan as they come through here up to the final corner. DRS is enabled. Chandler set us it's a new fast lap at a 130 flat.
Does have DRS. He's not quite close enough into turn 2, so now he's got to get into the harder stretch of the track to make that overtake done.
Deer Hunter's looking very racy on those soft compound tires compared to Whiffy's 11 lap old medium compound tires. But the question is how much is Deer Hunter pushing on those soft compound tires to the point where he's legitimately going to chew up those tires and not be able to, you know, recover from it. So I'm sure he's getting close to a very big drop off. Chandler said a last lap. He's 3/10 back from Ham Newton. Can he make it stick on Chandler?
He wants to get the run. He's going to try and do another move into this corner, I'm sure. He's looking for it. No, he thinks again.
Does not look like he's
Not
going to
much
be
time
able to
to
make
make.
it stick. Come on, Chandler.
Not
If you've
many
got to make
turns
a move,
left
you
to
got to
make
make
up
it
your
now.
mind.
He's going to try a switchback on
picked
him.
now.
He's going on the outside. Can he get a nice run? It looks like he gets a little bit of the marbles, but he cannot make it stick. No, he doesn't.
Oh, very close.
Very close.
Very close. 1/10.
Delicious is going to cross the line. Happy. Here comes Deer Hunter. Deer Hunter's not able to make something happen. GK Phantom. Where's Webster? Webster's coming through here, doing his last lap, parade lap. What an amazing battle we've seen in this race here. A lot of drivers getting tossed up. Ferrari not crashing out. What a shame on him. Ham Newton wins the first race as Webster loses the rear end. Chandler's going to finish second. Ham's teammate, Mean Fern, is going to finish third. Hoopalicious fourth. Taylor Clank going from all the way to the back to fifth. Deer Hunter fifth. Skeppy, even though he lagged out, the A-High was still able to bring his car home in seventh. TK Phantom's ninth. Webster's 10th. Kanan King 11th. Richie Beckman 12th. What an amazing battle. I mean, what are some of the takeaways you watched?
Oh man, there were some good battles between Hoopalicious and Phantom and Deer Hunter. Like, just across the board, the mid pack was a delight to watch, as well as the top three between Ferrari Nut and Chandler, as well as everybody else. Like, just great fighting.
Now, it's been confirmed in the chat of the stream. Hoopalicious says, I can confirm pad traction is OP in these cars. Well, that is wonderful to hear. Looks like if I race F2, I will be using a pad. And it seems like Wrathful, you race F2 as well, you will be strong on the pad. So here you have it.
I don't know about that.
Ham Newton puts car on pole and had to win the race. Chandler sets the fast lap at a 130.0. So it looks like Ham Newton's going to have 25 points. Chandler's going to have 20. Mean Fern 15. Hoopalicious 12. Taylor Clan 10, and so down. But we still have the other race to go. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how that plays out. Ham did get 4 points for qualifying, but Chandler, due to the fast lap, he got 2 extra points. So with these extra points, definitely plays into a huge factor in how this is going to work. I mean,
it's a wet second stint. And this is why I love the rain at Hungary, because I love Hungary for its weather. It's amazing. It's great here.
What? Full wet? I thought you were joking.
Wet, baby.
And then I was looking at something, and then I turned my head, and I just went, amazing. So hopefully they have Park Ferme off, because if they don't, this is going to be tricky. Everybody knows, you know what I mean, for the newer viewers, F2 cars are very tricky to drive in the dry on itself. But now you're throwing in wet compound, like heavy wet. This isn't like intermediate wet. This is like full wet for those that are watching. And it's definitely going to be...
Some of them, it might be their wet dream. Who knows? Again, rain's supposedly the ultimate equalizer, right?
Yeah, but with the switch, the driver grid flips. So Ham Newton's going to start 8th. Chandler set a 7th up to the first 8. So that means Whiffy Winter's going to start on pole position here on his formation lap. You know, Skeppy is still in because his car lagged out. It's going to be a little bit of a mix-up. Whiffy loses it on the formation lap. What a shame. He's probably getting the grips of the wet here. We're going to go down the grid. Deer Hunter's going to start 3rd. You know, Taylor Clan 4th. Hoopalicious 5th. Mean Fern 6th. Chandler 7th. Ham 8th. GK Phantom's going to start 9th. Webster 10th. Canada King 11th. Ritzy 12th. And Ferrari Nut 13th. Now, Ferrari Nut just needs to put his head down and push as much as he possibly can here to move up the grid. But because this is heavy wet conditions, honestly, as long as Ferrari Nut Deer Hunter stays consistent, gets past Whiffy Winter here at the start of the race. I mean, as we're watching here on the screen,
very much a drive to survive, though, because of the wet conditions in the F2 with these curbs, with that fast left-hander. You know, with a little bit of degradation, that might be the problem. Because these guys are already starting to have issues with just these tires and getting them up to a proper temperature to stick to the track now. With a little bit of deg, that corner might just be lethal.
As well as watching these drivers go around the formation lap, you can clearly see them having issues getting around the track. So like I said, if Deer Hunter can get past Whiffy, I mean, he could pull. He could definitely get
And
away.
Ham Newton's into the grass. Like, even our faster guys that we've seen in our last round that were showing pace are having a hard time out here. Not an easy thing to do in the wet with F2. I think there's many viewers out there that would say that the wet overall is a pain. So it is what it is. Yes. As we're lining up to the grid now. Fritzy Raccoon and Ferrari Nut, Canada King are all lined up. Webster's lined up.
Here we go, waiting on the 5 lights as the grid lines up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and we are away. Very slow start. Does anybody spin it off the line? No, they do not. But there is a massive
clean
battle
start
here. Deer Hunter getting a nice run on Whiffy Winner. Hopefully Whiffy Winner can harness his inner Senna and take the fight back, but it does not look like it. Back end loses a little bit. Deer Hunter makes the move and he gets past as they go through. Chandler Seta making an amazing move. Chandler's already up to second, but Chandler loses it, but he saves it. Whiffy Winner could have pushed it even more. Taylor Clan up to second. Deer Hunter down a second gap on these drivers. Chandler back on Taylor Clan. What can happen here? Is someone going to send it here in some of these turns? We've seen them go really wide a lot as GK Phantom is slot up to 8th. Ham Newton's up to 5th here. Delicious is 5th now as they go through. Webster and Canada King's moving up. Whiffy Winner, poor Whiffy Winner.
Ferrari Nut fighting with
Mean Fern's
Mean Fern as they're getting tied up with ERS Ham
There's a lot of moving around here as Chandler and Deer Hunter are battling it side by side. Deer Hunter definitely holding his line as they go through. They're going too wide in these parts of the track. Chandler loses it, but he manages to save the car.
And Hoopalicious is going to take that, and Chandler is trying to find his way through as Hoopalicious overshoots it.
Taylor Clay now in the battle. This is just, the whole rain is just making these drivers not know what to do here.
As Webster makes a move on Mean Fern, sending it around the outside to get in behind Phantom.
Ham is still looking to see what is happening. He's checking up behind some of these. Deer Hunter sets the new fast lap at a 1:55.9 compared to their drive setup, where they were doing a 1:30. Chandler's going to try the outside line, but doesn't. Deer Hunter closes the door on him.
As Taylor's still trying to make that move on the outside of Hoopalicious. As Hoopalicious takes some grass, and that's going to slide Ferrari Nut through. Ferrari Nut has moved from the back of the pack up to P5 already and is still hungry for more points after having that issue in the first race.
Now here's the issue here. Yes, Deer Hunter has to defend. We know Chandler's fast. We know Ham is fast. Ham showed it all during the beginning of the feature race. But the question is, you know, if Ham tries to make a move on Chandler, he's going to have to be very surgical about it. He doesn't want to ruin his race due to how these wet conditions are. You know, we see all these cars, they go off track very much, as they go through. But Deer Hunter just needs to keep his head down, go in defense, run his line that he needs to run, and he should be good.
ZRS Ham Newton's looking for that move on Chandler into Sector 3. As ERS Ham Newton has a purple Sector 2, as he's going to make the move on the inside.
Here he goes. What's going to happen? Can Chandler fight it back up to the last corner to take the inside? This is what Deer Hunter wants. Deer Hunter wants them to battle. He wants them to make mistakes, because if they make mistakes, he can pull away. This is what Deer Hunter needs. Deer Hunter needs to pick up the pace. He needs to step up as they go through. Now they're doing 104.6s. They are definitely picking up the pace on him. As Chandler throws it up on the inside. Oh, but he cannot make it as Ham just checks up right behind him. It's amazing how much the
Ferrari
rain...
Nut's looking to fight Taylor Clan as Ferrari Nut's still trying to chase down the race leaders. Slowly pushing his way through.
It's amazing how much the rain becomes an equalizer to a lot of these fast drivers. You know, the grid is still tight. The grid is still battling very closely through this.
As Whiffy Winner's having an issue, and he's spun it at the back in Sector 1 as well.
What a shame for Whiffy Winner. He looked like he had a very good start. But like we started off, these F2 cars are... Ooh, Deer Hunter makes a mistake.
And Webster loses it as well.
Chandler makes the move on the inside, but can Ham make it stick? No, Ham doesn't. So now Chandler just needs to put his foot down and go.
Canada King was promoted up to 9th as Webster has a spin out as well.
Oh.
On the curbs going through. So, yeah.
Now Canada King just needs to stay a lot more consistent to get the most amount of points here in this race. As Deer Hunter runs very defensive, trying to hold off Ham Newton. As Ferrari Nut is now in the battle, he's up to 4th. Ferrari Nut wants a revenge. He wants one of those top positions here in this race at the end of the sprint.
Hoopericious goes wide, and Mean Fern takes 6th position, chasing down Taylor Clan.
Here we go. Ham Newton on Deer Hunter. Deer Hunter takes the inside. Ham Newton trying on the outside. Deer Hunter is going to give him the door and show him the outside.
The Ferrari Nut doesn't mind because he's just sneaking in as he's just right alongside Ham Newton going into the next turn.
Oh,
trying to make this a fight for 3rd.
So tight between this battle here. Ferrari Nut tries it on the inside. He makes it stick. Poor Ham Newton's falling back, but Chandler's loving it. He's now out to 1.2 seconds. That is the separation between him and Deer Hunter. This is what Chandler
is
wants.
Running as he just set a purple after 1, so he is just trying to get out of here.
Ham Newton has now fallen. He needs to...
As Whiffy Winner is our first person to pit. I don't think these guys would need to, besides for wing damage, which I know Whiffy has.
But at least he'll have freshers, wets, going through province. This grid, the grid is already halfway around this track here. As they go through...
Gonna have a hard time trying to catch up.
Can Ferrari not get past Deer Hunter and make the move, and push even harder to get away as they go through?
It's a very, very tight battle up into that top 5, but Deer Hunter's moved up into 2nd, and Ferrari Nut and Ham Newton are still going to try and make that move down to turn 1 as they're coming through for lap 5.
Chandler setting a new fast lap at a 1:44.7. Now stretching his lead out to 2 seconds on Deer Hunter. It's like Whiffy Winner losing it again in Sector 3.
Oh, that would be Webster, who's now overheated his tires into Sector 3, and he's spun it again.
Ooh,
giving Canada King a large gap behind him, so he's just got to nurse it and bring it home and take it easy on that one. But Deer Hunter is defending very well to keep Ferrari Nut and Ham Newton behind him.
All he's got to do, hopefully, if Ferrari Nut makes a mistake here in these very technical infield side, it's going to cause Ferrari Nut to fall behind, just like we're seeing right now. He was about a 10th back. Now he's about 7/10ths back. But that's just going to mean Ham Newton's going to take the battle. So now Ferrari Nut has to decide, I've got a driver behind me. I need to defend, but I also have another driver behind. So a lot of this
And
is
Ham
helping
Newton
out
gets
Deer
a
Hunter.
little, getting a little unsettled, and that's going to catch Taylor Clan right back up to him, and he's going to lose Ferrari Nut a bit.
Now we have Chandler set up. He is now 2.8 seconds ahead of Deer Hunter. He has pretty much checked up and said goodbye, have a nice day.
So he's making Hungary the one. He's hungry for Hungary as he gets another fastest lap.
I like what you did there. You got to keep that going here. As now Ham Newton has fallen behind, but guess who is now in the mix on Ham Newton? Taylor Clan and Mean Fern. Now they're trying to reel in these top runners here. So each driver is less than a second apart from each other as they're just freight training through. And Chandler's now 3.2 seconds away from Deer Hunter. So if Ferrari Nut makes a mistake, that he could fall all the way back to 7th, even 8th place. You know, so definitely be interesting to see how this all plays out with all these drivers as they go through. So we're going to run through the grid right now for all the viewers. We have Chandler Setta. He is leading the race with Deer Hunter 2nd, Ferrari Nut 3rd, Ham Newton 4th, Taylor Clan 5th, Mean Fern 6th, Hoopalicious 7th, GK Phantom 8th, Cannon King 9th in a respective race that he is doing. He is definitely showing consistency here, even though he's in 9th, Webster 10th, Whiffy Winner 11th, a struggling race here in the sprint. Ritzy Raccoon 12th, BRL Skippy 13th as we go through. Ferrari Nut 2/10 back from Deer Hunter.
Taylor Clan is just fighting the car out there with those wet tires, but is managing very well to keep it in the group with everybody. But as I cycle through some of these other drivers, it looks like everyone's fighting the car in one way or another, just with these heavy wet conditions, just a little bit oversteer here and there. It's very difficult.
Notice a lot
as Ferrari Nut's trying to make the move on Deer Hunter. He's going to go for the switchback. Can't get inside enough with these wets.
Yeah, you notice a lot of these drivers are making the dive onto the wet side of the track to cool these tires out. Ferrari sends it on the inside.
And looks like that's a touch on Deer Hunter.
Pushed up Deer Hunter in the grass. Ooh, Deer Hunter saves it.
That's to give Ham Newton through. That's going to be something the stewards are going to want to look at.
It looked like it on my camera angle when he went in. Ferrari Nut went into the corner. Looked like he possibly may have touched him and pushed him wide in that corner. By the time
it was a bit of a dive. But it's very hard to dive in the wet. It was, you know, it's hard.
For the best.
It's hard to break it. Yeah. Yes. And it's Hungary. And he didn't want Chandler to get any farther away. And now he's trying to claw back that 5 second. But the rain is slowing down. Do you think they'll go to inters?
You have 7 laps to go. The track still looks like it has a lot of rain on it. You know, I'm gonna say
it's clearing a bit.
I'm gonna say
the clouds don't look so bad, and it's drizzling now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's gonna be in 2 laps time. You're gonna start seeing drivers dive into intermediate tires.
Did Webster's make the move? Webster's is on a medium set.
Webster's on a medium set.
I don't think now is the call.
No, I don't think
when it's still raining
at all. Yeah, it's still raining. I mean, a lot of the drivers are still diving over on the wet line, not only to defend, but also to, you know, keep their tires. As Taylor Clan's making a move on Deer Hunter, he sees what's happening. Mean Fern, ooh, Deer Hunter goes deep. Taylor Clan makes a stick. Mean Fern's possibly going to get the move on him.
As there's a 3-way battle going into turn 2.
Here we go.
Or 3. Yeah, 2. Taylor's trying to take the outside line into the next corner. Deer Hunter blocks nicely.
We have a yellow sector 2 and 3. As GK Phantom dives into the pit. Is he going to medium?
New wets.
New wets? All right, there we go. Oh, that's right. These drivers don't have intermediates. They just have
the
full wet tires, yes. It's amazing. Taylor Clan loses
Wet or
it.
nothing.
So that means Meanfern and Hupalicious is going to get past Taylor Clan. Canada King, he's up to 8th now with a 29-second
With Phantom
lead.
pitting, yeah.
Yeah. So if
he's
Canada
got
King's,
it sort of locked.
Yeah, so if Canada King keeps his head down and races a good race, he could get 8th place. What an amazing
Bring
battle.
home some points.
Meanfern, is still 4/10 back from Deer Hunter as Taylor Clan loses it a little bit, but he's managed to regain what he needs to take the battle to Hupalicious. Chandler sets the newest fast lap to a 1:43.8. He's now 5.4 seconds ahead of Ferrari Nut, with Ham Newton less than a second back from them.
Ritzy Raccoon is on the soft set, but he's spun it on the pit straight, so that's no good.
I think he's trying to get like a tire compound, but the game is not putting him on a tire that's workable for him. What a shame for him. Definitely, I'm curious. Are these drivers going to pit or are they going to stay out? What is their call? Because definitely, this battle for 4th place between these 4 drivers, if one of them pits to go to a new set of tires, do they all pit? Do one of them stay out? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we have 5 laps left to go here, 9 out of 14. Ham Newton is starting to reel in, looks like Ferrari, that he's 7/10 back. Chandler's still out there on a cruise control run, which is going to help him in the
Webster's
overall.
back into the pit again, probably going for the rain. I don't know if it's going to stop. It's still coming. I wonder if it's going to stop near the end, though.
I would say, definitely, it's going to probably be a wet race throughout the whole race. I don't think it would be very beneficial to dive in and try a dry, you know what I mean? As Webster.
Not when it's still raining.
Yeah, not when it's still raining. And you can clearly see a lot of spray up when these drivers get into the wet parts of the track. As Meanfern tries to inside, he makes it. He moved to the inside faster than Deer Hunter could make it stick. Well, can Deer Hunter make the switchback work on Meanfern?
And Hupalicious is right there to see if he can make something of it.
Let's see what happens when they go down into this turn. Oh, a little bit of a lockup when I went on board with Meanfern. Deer Hunter, they're going side by side. Deer Hunter makes it stick, but can Meanfern get a run on him? Ham Newton is now 4/10 back from Ferrari Nut.
Looks like Hupalicious and Taylor Clan are really trying to wait and see what Meanfern and Deer Hunter are doing, but they have a serious 4-way battle going into the end here.
Ritzy retired from the session. What a shame. He was looking very fast throughout it. Let's see what happens as they go through. Meanfern falling to Deer Hunter 3/10 back. Come on, Meanfern, if you're going to make a move, you got to do it now. There's only 4 laps to play. You can't sit there and hold back. If Hupalicious falls back
Hungary.
a little bit,
It's difficult, especially with no DRS, but he might be making the move now. As Deer Hunter holds him off, he locks up hard not to rear-end Deer Hunter.
but that's going to help Hupalicious. Hupalicious took that corner super deep to catch him and reel him in.
And Taylor's right there to see if he can make something work of it, too. Again, these guys are really, really tough into this battle.
Deer Hunter defending on the inside. Ham Newton's 4/10 back from Ferrari. We'll jump on board with him. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to make anything stick. I'll keep an eye on that as the way the times develop. But this massive
Taylor Clan
battle,
makes the move on Hupalicious, who doesn't get traction out of turn 1.
Oh, they go side
and
by side.
Hupalicious sends it. And Taylor's going to take the inside line on the switchback.
Surprisingly, Hupalicious recovered from that very well going into that. Even though he sent it, he recovered very well. Mean Fern, nice line out of that fast left-hander as he's trying to chase Deer Hunter down again. You know, what's interesting is most of these F2 races that we watch, a lot of them, there's like, you know, there's a few battles here. Looks like Mean Fern's got a little bit of wing damage, which is not really helping him in this race, especially with this cornering ability with the rain. But a lot of times we see a lot of these drivers, they set in their grid, like their speed, their performance. Ferrari Nut has now reeled in Chandler Setta's gap. Before I said 5.4, we've been stuck on this battle in 4th place.
And Mean Fern is trying to get around Deer Hunters. Deer Hunters blocked him off. I'm not sure if that's a double move, but that was definitely a little bit questionable.
But Ferrari Nut sets the new fast lap at a 1:43.7, and he's reeled in Chandler Setta by a second now. So the battle for
But is Taylor going to be able to make something now that he's gotten around Hoopalicious? Can he make a move around Mean Fern and Deer Hunter before Mean Fern can get around Deer Hunter? As these guys are starting to make moves into these final turns.
Definitely very interesting as we go through. Phantom is off the track. I'm very curious on why he jumped to those medium compound tires. Mean Fern, Deer Hunter side by side. Deer Hunter still running a very defensive race. Again,
you might only have 2 sets of wets, so if you bust your wings, that's going to be the end of it.
Ferrari Nut is 0.6 back from Chandler Setta for first place. Cam Newton is only a second back from these drivers. Ferrari Nut is on a driver of the day form of race. If Ferrari Nut can
Hoopalicious
get first,
is trying to get in with Taylor Clan, and I think they make contact, which stops Taylor Clan from being able to take the corner. I don't think he got a 3-second, but he might have gotten a warning for that.
Hoopalicious gets in a better run than Taylor Clan through that corner.
I don't know what's happened to Taylor. He's having a hard time.
Hoopalicious does get a 3-second time penalty. Possibly there's a little bit of a contact, tossed up his car a little bit, made his car a little wobbly. As Ferrari Nut is now 0.4 back from Chandler Setta onto the main straight, as Ferrari Nut sets a new fast lap at a 1:43.7. Ferrari Nut is on a rampage. He wants to win. He remembers what happened in the last race, and he wants to take the battle to Chandler as they go through.
These guys must not have a whole lot of wets, as Canada King's on the soft set too for probably another wing. Mean Fern takes a defensive outer line to try and get a better run down on Deer Hunter. I think it's going to pay out, as Mean Fern has him on the outside. Deer Hunter sends it.
That downhill corner is very tricky when you want to try to make that work. You know, you
especially
think you
in the
could
wet.
probably, yeah, I mean, you think you can make the switch back. You know, right now would be a perfect time for inners, like you were saying. But due to the fact of their tire compounds that they have, they can't really do a whole lot. Yeah, and it looks like Mean Fern.
Deer Hunter and Mean Fern have some serious contact there. That'll be
gets another 3-second time penalty. But here in the top battle right now, we still have Ferrari Nut is 0.5 back from Chandler Setta. And he has 1 lap remaining, so it's an all or nothing race. For Ferrari Nut, as Ham is just chilling in 3rd place. He knows he's got a lot of the points for the qualifying.
As they start their final lap.
Ham sets a new fast lap at a 1:43.7.
The thing is, Ferrari Nut closed in that 5-second gap somehow, but he overshoots turn 1 a bit. Again, I think with this half drying is making it difficult to keep the appropriate temperature in these wets.
But here's the thing, Ferrari Nut has fallen back 1 point. Oh, Ham loses it. He's power sliding.
Wide. He's gone wide. And he's out of the fight with them. He still has a podium, but he's out of the fight for top 1-2.
But the question now is even though he has that fast lap, he does have the points for qualifying on pole. But the question is because Ferrari Nut's going to finish second, unless Ferrari Nut makes a mistake, not trying to rig anything, if he, but will that give Ham Newton the overall?
I think Chandler will have enough points. I still think Chandler might have enough points, but still, I think it's Chandler's weekend.
I think it is. Chandler needs it. He's had a few bad races here, both in F2 and in F1. Definitely looking to want to have that podium finish, as Meanfern is still under a second from Deer Hunter. Ferrari Nut has reeled in Chandler some more, but can he make it stick in the last two corners? He's gonna have to send it. He's full send. Come on, Ferrari Nut. Are you going to Carlos Sainz it? Nope.
And it looks like Hoopalicious is going to try and get around Taylor. But Taylor's going to have a better line as Hoopalicious goes wide. They're fighting for these final spots as they're coming on the end.
Go through. Looks like Hoopalicious is just going to check up right behind the... Oh! Taylor Clan. Taylor Clan on the inside! Last turn! Last turn! But Hoopalicious got the
They're
speed.
coming side by side. They're side
Taylor
by side.
Clan makes it stick.
Oh my God! Taylor gets him.
Taylor King finishes 8th.
Nailed. That's a point finish.
That's clearly a point finish. GK Phantom coming around to the last corner with Whiffy. Phantom loses it, but can Whiffy Winner make it? Is there enough time? If Phantom loses it again, Whiffy Winner could pass him.
Race control, DRS is enabled. It's going to dry.
If Phantom finishes, I do Whiffy coming across the line in 10th. Poor Webster and Ritzy Raccoon could not finish the race. They will finish 11th and 12th. Wow, what an amazing race, I'm sure. I mean, what is your takeaway on that second race, Rathful?
Kind of upsetting for Ferrari Nut, considering how well they did in the second race with the DNF in the first. So that's obviously a heartfelt thing, but it's good for Chandler to get up there and do well for a change after having some bad luck in some other races. But amazing battle between Hoopalicious and Deer Hunter and Mean Fern and Taylor Clay. Just amazing four-way battle through both the races. Just excellent.
Agreed. I wholeheartedly agree. And we're gonna talk over through the points here as we go through. Overall winner, we have Chandler. No, hold on. Feature race, sprint race. Where's the overall? Oh, here we go. Overall winner, Ham Newton with 41 points. Chandler Setta, he's got 35. He's going to finish second. But Mean Fern's going to finish it overall in third. Deer Hunter's going to slot up to fourth in the overall in the overall points here for this race. Hoopalicious coming in fifth, with Taylor Clay tied him for sixth. Ferrari Nut, even though he made a mistake in the first race, he slots up to seventh. Whiffy Winner coming into a strong eighth, and Canada King still bringing in points. GK Phantom bringing in points, Webster bringing in points. A lot of drivers bringing in points, which is awesome to hear. So we are going to get, let's get these drivers in, Mean Fern, Ham, and Chandler. Get them into this party. Nope, not join their party. Invite them to party. Okay, we got Mean Fern, invite Ham.
Invited him, yeah.
Did you invite Ham?
Yeah, I just did.
Oh, yeah. Chandler has left. Where did Chandler go?
Bedtime?
Oh, my Xbox did a weird... Oh, there's Chandler.
Yeah, he'll be back in a hot second.
All right, invite sent. Welcome, Chandler. Please click the audio to include it. We are just waiting on the other two. Mr. Hammond Fern. Here we go. There we go. Now we have the top podium. Um, welcome to the race. We now have all of our podium drivers. Everybody's joining the party for some reason. Nope, sorry, Mr. Deer Hunter.
Can't trust your hunter.
Well, it's always good to have surprise guests in the booth. I have to say, what a wonderful race. Wrathful and I were ecstatic, throughout the whole entire race, especially the second one with the whole entire rain. And there was a massive battle through across the whole entire grid. Some drivers we saw finishing with points. I have to say, congratulations to the winner, Mr. Ham Newton. Chandler finishing second, Mean Fern third. Mean Fern, I'm going to start with you in third. Um, were you expecting a third place overall? I mean, you were kind of battling in the mid pack. I mean, talk us through your whole entire both feature and the sprint.
Um, I felt like it was just kind of the first race. P2 would have been in the end. P2 would have been possible. I think pitting is probably not the best idea. Because I would have been P2. I know Chandler still had the new softs, so would have been, I think, pretty close between us there. And then the second race, I just got held up by deer. I actually got wing damage in turn two, and that probably lost me. I don't know. It lost me. I couldn't really tell because I didn't really know what it was like to have a front wing in the rain. But I want to say it probably lost me at least half a second a lap because it was yellow, and I was just understeering so much. That's probably why I couldn't get around Deer Hunter.
Yeah, no, it was honestly the battle between all of you guys in the mid pack, especially for the second race. I mean, Taylor Clan and Hoopalicious were all just waiting for something to happen between both of you guys. And I mean, you guys had a wonderful race to put on a wonderful show for the viewers, and thank you very much. And I'm gonna let Wrathful take it off with us, our second place finisher, Mr. Chandler.
So, Chandler, how did you feel about that second race specifically, especially when Ferrari Nut and Ham Newton were closing in on you for that final lap?
Yeah, pace was a lot better than I expected. I guess those two wet TT laps really played a part there. I guess I don't know, but I had good pace until I almost binned it 3 laps before the end. Don't know how I kept it out of the wall, but I did. And my 4.8 wings was no match for the 10.10 wings people had, so there was no chance anyone was overtaking me.
Fair enough. Yeah, it was quite a different race with the mix-up with the rain. It was kind of foreseen, but yeah, it was interesting to see for how you guys were able to handle it. It looked like everybody was struggling out there, so.
Yep.
And on to our first place finisher, ERS Ham Newton. Congratulations to you. Pretty much ran an amazing race in the beginning, but it didn't look like in the second race you were really pushing. Like you kind of just like it's almost like you kind of knew you didn't really need to push. You were just kind of like, you know what, if I just stay right here, I'll be good. Is like what was your whole strategy going in to everything?
Second race, I kind of just wanted to make it through since I was starting eighth. Um, Kind of make it through the first few corners. I think something happened. Turn two, I kind of made it out of there. I was like P4 or something at that point. Then I had a chance to make a move on Chandler before we got to Deer Hunter, and I couldn't pull it off. So then when we got to Deer Hunter, he got around, and it took me a while to get around Deer Hunter. And Ferrari passed me before that, actually, before I even got around Deer Hunter. So that played a huge role in the second race. And then once we kind of set off, when I was chasing Ferrari, I feel like we had pretty much like more or less the same pace. So it was hard to really gain on him, especially with the dirty air um, through like sector 3 and sector 2. So I was kind of just pushing with him. And then somehow Chandler ended up back in front of us. But again, like I feel like I wasn't necessarily faster than Ferrari in the rain, so I couldn't really like get up there and make a move. But I feel like the weekend, especially the first race, yeah, it was all on the pole lap. I feel like I was the only one that really hooked it up, at least relatively, because I know Ferrari at Chandler could have run my time, but I guess I just put it together that lap, so that helped me out in the first race, being able to be in clean air.
Well, overall, I have to say congratulations to all of you guys, the drivers. Me and Rathel were both making bets that someone was probably going to lose it on that fast left-hand turn, but nobody did. But I just want to say congratulations to all of you guys, and thank you. And we are going to sign off here for F2 for